Hey guys, it's DT. Welcome back to another episode of DT's Big Unboxing Show, the segment where I take over the channel and basically unbox big, expensive things for your enjoyment. So today we're going to be taking a look at the XM Studios Hulk transformation. So this is another item on my most anticipated statues of 2020 list. If you guys want to see what else is on that list, make sure to check out that video after this one. But I have been waiting for this piece for a long time. So as you can see, we have a very large box here. This box weighs 36 kilograms. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the metric system, that equates to very heavy. So let's save the chit chat for later and open this up. Come on. Okay, so we've got our big black XM Studios box here on the floor. So this one doesn't come with an assembly book. Starting with this piece, they are actually doing assembly videos online, but they do include an art print. And this one comes in a black envelope. Okay, so here's a look at the print. Very cool rendition of the statue. And off we go. And let's see what we have here. Okay, and here's what we get in the top layer. So let's take a look at Mr. Banner here. Ooh, this guy's got some weight to him. Look at that crazed face. He is going insane. And although this looks like fabric, there is not an ounce of fabric on this guy. Some really cool texture on his jacket, on his shirt and pants. His jacket's flying up in the back. Really good sense of motion. We've also got a tie. And here are his glasses. Here's a look at Banner's base. It matches the larger Hulk base. We've got some wires on the top, and this one is numbered as well. And they made 750 of these pieces. This is number 72. We've also got some large mechanical arms. Same with the one on the other side. We've got more wire pieces. Another broken piece. He's got his purple pants. Same texture that we saw on Banner, just a lot bigger. And here's a look at his skin. They did an awesome job with the skin here. Nice rips and tears in his pants. And very nice Hulk pedicure. And they usually give these away to the first 30% of the people that order. However, this one was a con exclusive. So everybody that purchased this piece will be getting one of these. And now let's see what we get in the bottom layer. It's probably easier to do if it's empty. Okay, and obviously we are left with the base and Hulk's upper torso. This guy is huge. It's not incredibly heavy. This guy is a beast. I love the pose on this guy. You can see all the veins in his arms. Look at that. And he connects with this big peg and key right into the pants. Monstrous base for a monstrous statue. And it's got some good weight to it. It's not incredibly heavy, but once we get all the other pieces on here, I'm sure this thing is gonna weigh a ton. We have this big circular piece. And then we've got some more cables. And now let's put this big boy together. Okay guys, here he is, XM Studios Hulk transformation. So the Hulk first appeared in The Incredible Hulk #1 in 1962. Unfortunately, the series was canceled after only 6 issues and renamed Tales to Astonish. And the title reverted back to The Incredible Hulk with issue 102 6 years later. The origin told the story of scientist Bruce Banner, who was testing out his new gamma bomb in the desert. And right before they were about to launch it, Bruce spots a kid driving into the test area. Of course, he goes off to warn the boy, but his jealous coworker Igor decides to hit the detonation button anyway. The bomb goes off, and right as he pushes the boy to safety, Bruce gets hit and absorbs a bunch of gamma rays. During his recovery, he finds that he changes into a big gray Hulk every day when the sun goes down. So in the original story, he only changed to the Hulk at night, and he really only had super strength. Nowadays, he has super speed, he has a healing factor, he can survive underwater, he can survive in space, so the Hulk has definitely come a long way over the years. Okay, so that was some early background on the Incredible Hulk. Let's get into the statue. So first off, the thing I love about this piece is that there are so many display options. You can display Banner in front, on the side, by himself, off the base, or just have a solo Hulk statue. But I think in order to embody the full concept of the piece, you really need to display him as intended, with the giant Hulk towering over the much smaller and tormented Bruce Banner. And for those that don't like that or have space issues, it's always good to have options. So we've got this cool laboratory base. The floor has a raised diamond lug pattern on it, giving it a nice industrial feel. I love how the plates are lifting up in some areas, exposing some of the underlying mechanical elements. They did a great job giving it a weathered treatment with some dirt and a bunch of scratches and rusty elements. There are all these cables running all over the place, large metal sockets. Looks like there's some ventilation that runs around the entire platform, along with some caution markings. All things you'd expect to see in a lab doing some major experiments. In the back, we have this giant machine that's been torn apart. I'm guessing this is a version of Banner's gamma ray projector. There's some great details on it, like the little control panels on each of the legs, the hydraulics, all the little damaged portions. I love how this piece right here is kind of floating in midair, being held up by these cords. And then we have this big semicircular piece with protruding wires. I think it adds a lot to the story the piece is trying to tell, and I think it does a great job at framing the Hulk and filling up some of that negative space from the front. Since they use real wires, these elements are posable, so you can kind of bend them to your liking. And there's also this little device on the bottom with a long metal arm that can be adjusted as well. The Hulk himself is just remarkable. Obviously, he's got some crazy muscularity, but I really like his proportions here. Sometimes you get Hulks that are overly massive, but I like the way this one has a more human aesthetic. You can clearly see the rage and power, but he doesn't come across looking ogreish like Hulks often do. He's got really good muscle definition, very nice pecs and delts, and probably the hugest traps I've ever seen. I like the color of the green that they used here. It's got a very natural look to it. Here's his hand compared to the Sideshow Gladiator Hulk. And as you can see, the Sideshow hands are gigantic. I think that works well for that storyline, but for the classic story that this piece is trying to tell, I think he's the perfect size. He's got some crazy mass, but is still able to retain a really nice balance. We can see his muscle striations as well as some insane vascularity. We've got veins popping out of his chest, his arms, his feet, and I'm really liking the sculpt in his hands and how you can see all the little folds in his skin. His fingernails are a nice dirty white, which gives a nice contrast to his green skin, and I love how there are little chips in them to show you that this is not a guy who gets a weekly manicure. His toes have the same effect, and he's got some massive feet and tree trunk legs. And I love all the folds, tears, and rips in his stretchy purple pants as well. I think the head sculpt is great on this guy. I'm glad they decided to make his upper body a single piece, as there are no visible neck seams. He's got the pronounced brow and cheekbones with these crazy eyes. There's a nice glossy coat on his pearly whites with some dark gums. The hair details look amazing, and his hairdresser even gave him some green Hulk highlights. The area around his mouth is a little bit on the darker side. I think a little bit of highlight right under his nose above his upper lip would have solved that problem. Other than that, the paint and colors look great, and I think the pose has some great lines and really captures the essence of the Incredible Hulk. Let's move on to Bruce Banner. So this guy just rests on the base with no keys or magnets, but his weight and the fact that he has 4 points of contact make him pretty secure. You just might want to take some precaution if you're moving him around. He's actually a lot heavier than I thought. He's got some great details on his shoes and clothing, really great texture, making it look like real fabric. They did a great job with the flow of his jacket and tie, giving us the feeling that he has just dropped onto his knees. I think his expression is spot on. And I love how his hands are going in and out of his hair. They did a really good job with the sculpt as well as the paint here. He can be displayed with or without the glasses, but you have to keep in mind that he will have a visible hole where the glasses are inserted. We can see his left arm and leg already turning green and starting to tear and rip open his clothes. We can also see a little green tinge making its way up his hands and onto his face, almost as if it was some sort of disease spreading throughout his body. So he's got a smaller matching base with additional cords and cables. It doesn't key into the larger base, but it does have a cutout on the back that allows it to butt up flush with no large gaps. I actually think that having the smaller platform in front really enhances the look of the larger base, even without banner. But it does add quite a bit to the depth of the piece. So I think this piece is a definite winner. It's got great presence, it tells a story, and it's just a magnificent work of art. If I had to nitpick something, it would be that the top of his pants look a little bit thick when viewing from high angles, but other than that and the small paint issue that I had, it's very hard to find fault with this statue. So if any of you collectors are on the fence about this guy, I would run and not walk to pick this guy up. Another masterpiece by XM Studios. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys are interested in more comic book and collectible related content, make sure to check out my other channel, DT's Geek Show. We've got some really cool stuff coming up on there, so go subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.